Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Dave Elliott.
And I'm Doug Walker. Welcome to WLOX News This Week.
And when we come back, Doug, we keep talking about workforce housing, but the workforce in general in the shipbuilding industry is a major issue right now.
And it's needed badly. There's a program underway to try to bring those workers here. We'll talk about it next.
Thanks for staying with us. There's an effort gearing up to rebuild the workforce for the shipbuilding industry all along the Gulf Coast. The Gulf State Shipbuilders Consortium is launching a workforce initiative. Joining us with more on this is the president of the consortium, Byron Dunn, and from Trinity Yachts and Gulfport, we welcome Billy Smith to the show. Thanks so much for being this. We appreciate it. Mr. Dunn, I want to start with you. In reading the press release from the Gulf Coast Shipbuilders Consortium, the headline is, Gulf Coast Shipbuilders Unite in the Face of Unprecedented Workforce Challenge. In other words, this is something that has just come up in the last few years, or has this always been a problem in the industry?
Well, it's been a problem from time to time, but in the past few years, and particularly the past 3 years since Katrina, it's really been a serious issue along the Gulf Coast. As you probably know, when Katrina hit, a lot of people were displaced from the area. Shipyards were out of business for a little while until they could get cleaned up and reestablished. But then also the workers, a lot of them had lost their homes and cars and vehicles and all of that, and so a lot of them left the area and never came back. Others took high-paying FEMA cleanup jobs and those types of things. So a lot of the workers that were building ships went into other industry.
Mr. Smith, I want to ask you about a couple of things that have happened in the past couple of weeks about not the amount of our workforce, but the condition of our workforce. There have been a couple of companies that have suggested our workforce isn't, and I quote, reliable, that we have trouble putting together good products. You're at Trinity Yachts, you're putting products out every single day. What do you think of the quality, not necessarily the quantity, but the quality of this workforce?
We're happy with the quality of the worker we're getting here in Mississippi. We've moved our office here. This is where we live. This is the headquarters for Trinity Yachts. We have one yard in Mississippi and one yard in Louisiana. Obviously, it took the Mississippi yard because it was only started after Katrina when we moved here. It took the Mississippi yard a while to get up to efficiency, but it is an efficient yard. We're happy with the quality of the workers we're getting. And it's just a matter of they're building something that is not your traditional shipbuilding, whether it's commercial or military, which is a typical shipbuilding product here on the Gulf Coast. But no, we're happy with the work ethic, and we're happy with the attitude. And
there's just not enough of them.
We would be happier if there was more of them.
Mr. Dunn, I talked to somebody, and I'm afraid it's going to have to be he told me this off the record. So one of the shipyards in Harrison County is operating right now with a workforce that is made up of, I can't remember the number he gave me, but Eastern European workers, and I think the country was Romania. We remember what happened out at Signal in Jackson County with the East Indian workers.
Right.
Do you expect, as a result of this problem, that we're going to see more and more work visa workers coming in from other countries to take these jobs?
Well, I think the pressure on the shipbuilders now, they all have contracts. They're all have plenty of business and plenty of building to do, but they don't have enough workers to complete the contracts. They have to find workers somewhere. So in some cases, contract labor is an option for them. What we'd like to do, though, we'd rather see Americans building these ships. We'd rather see Mississippians, Alabamians, and Louisianians building these ships along the coast, and that's the reason that we formed the consortium to help develop this workforce.
All right,
but have we seen, wait, I'm sorry, but have we seen a dramatic increase in the number of, and I hate to say immigrant workers, and I apologize if that offends anyone, people coming in with work visas taking these jobs?
Some of the shipyards I do know have some contract labor, and some of those are non-residents, they're alien workers that come for some period of time and then return.
But then again, you don't have to look at shipbuilding. Just take a look at what happened at Howard Industries up in Laurel. Exactly. There's 595 illegal aliens arrested for working at that industry. Before we run out of time, I do want to talk about the actual program. What is this program going to do to train and hire and retain 4,000 workers in the next few years?
All right, the whole idea is it's a multi-pronged approach, really. First of all, we're trying to talk with middle schoolers and high schoolers and their parents and counselors in those schools to let them know the shipbuilding industry is different than it used to be. It's not your father's shipbuilding industry. It's high-tech. If you look at Trinity Yachts, go to their yard, for example, everything's under roof. It's like a manufacturing facility, not like we would typically think of a shipyard. It's high-tech, it takes skills, it takes mathematics, it takes science knowledge, and so we have to train these workers in those skills. The other thing we want people to know is that these are good jobs, and these are not only good jobs, these are good careers. We were talking earlier that in the shipyard you can do virtually any type of work you want to do. Yes, there's steel and there's aluminum work, but there's electrical work, there's electronics, there's carpentry, there's all of these other skill sets.
Well, there's no doubt that relative to the average job, these are very high-paying jobs. Billy, we're almost out of time. Is it kind of unusual when we have Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi working together on this, when you consider the competitive nature of the shipbuilding industry, that you guys have suddenly kind of gotten together to address this issue?
Well, it's very interesting. We're competing for labor, but we're not competing for the same jobs. The jobs that Northrop Grumman has is different than Trinity, which is different than Schwest, which is different than VT Halter. So we're all building boats, but we're building in different categories. So we're not competitors for the work, but we are having a problem with the workers, and it makes sense for us to get together and try and solve this jointly versus each individual company coming up with a solution.
Right. Billy Smith, thank you very much for joining us, and Byron Gunn, we appreciate you being here as well. Thank you. And good luck with the program.